everybody? Today marks a very special day on this channel. We are starting the very first video of a video series that I'm going to start doing called Cinematography Basics. So first let's talk about how intense that intro was, and second my actual logo intro. Whether or not you guys like that, let me know, comment below. If so, I'll keep it. If not, I'm going to go back to the drawing board. I'm kind of on the fence about it right now. So today we're going to be learning about 2 easy light setups and then recreating the lighting for that intro. Let's get to it. So the first thing we're going to talk about is bounce lighting. Bounce lighting is literally when you aim a light at an object and you reflect it off that object back onto your talent or back onto your subject. Now, you use bounce lighting all the time. You use it in your house when you turn a lamp or turn a light on. You may not notice it, but all you're really doing is you are just bouncing light off the walls, off the ceiling, and it's dispersing out throughout the room. Now, when you use it in filmmaking and use it in photography, you're literally doing the same thing. You are just directing the light to a certain area. So, to my right, I have 2 650 watt Fresnel lights, and these are just pointing at this round white reflector. So these right here, these lights have what you call barn doors on them. These help direct the light, but we're not going to get too much into the actual construction of the lights right now. See, and what this is doing is this is just hitting this, and it's reflecting this nice soft light back onto my face. And the cool thing about bounce lighting is if we were to change the color of that reflector, or if we were to gel these lights, which is physically putting a gel over the top, you see that? Then we can change the color of the light being reflected back. Now, if we were to cut off all these other lights, my overhead light, then this would be a lot more intense. So let's cut all the house lights off and let's see what it looks like with just these 2 bounce lights on. Okay, so this is literally just these 2 lights, and you can tell how much more dramatic and how much more dynamic this got just because I'm lit from one side. Now, the issue here is it is still hitting the left side. I have this white piece of paper hanging here, and my studio is all painted black. So the black is absorbing light, but it's still reflecting it a little bit, and that light's bouncing off that far wall and coming back and hitting me. So normally what you'd want to do is you want to flag the light. Flagging the light means blocking off certain directions and areas where you don't want the light to go. That is bounce light. We also have this reflector here. This is a 5-in-1 reflector. If you don't have a 5-in-1 reflector, you definitely need one in your kit. They come with different colored sides, as well as a diffuser in the middle. So if I was to flip it, the other side's gold. And this is going to change our color temperature of the scene. So when I flip this, and then I spin this camera back on me, you can tell how much warmer the color temperature's got. We even need to step down our ISO on our camera. We're going to step it down to 320. Let's go up to 400. We're at ISO 400 now, and you can tell now it almost looks like the sun is shining in through a window and hitting us in the face. And the cool thing about bounce light is the further you move away from the source, the softer the light gets. That's with all light. If you move it further away, it gets softer. If you move it closer, it gets more harsh. Like right now, this looks pretty good. I like this light right here. And again, it's just these 2 lights hitting this gold. If this was red, it would reflect red back. If this was blue, it would give us a darker color back. Same with black. Alright guys, so we're back. I turned our gold reflector back over to the white side, and I have a 75 watt kicker light here, and then I also have a 75 watt bare lamp up there in that China lantern. So mastering bounce light is a technique that you need to have in your arsenal because it is so versatile. You're going to use it all the time throughout your career, whether you're shooting music videos, films, YouTube videos, or even in photography. The best thing about bounce lighting is it gives you this nice soft light, especially when you're in small confined spaces. So if you're shooting a scene in a car, or if you're shooting a scene in a smaller space like a living room, a bedroom, or something like that, it's gonna give you light that looks like this. So these lights are this close to me. I mean, it's within 2 feet. If I was to take this lamp and just spin it around, if I had to light a subject where I'm standing, and you can see using the same light how blown out that is. Turn it around and bouncing it back at the reflector, it gives me this nice light. And that's the very basics of bounce lighting. You can bounce light off of any surface using any type of light, LEDs, HMIs, standard household lights, it doesn't matter. And you can bounce it off of anything. You can bounce it off of different textures, different colors, different kinds of materials, and you're gonna get different effects. So play around with bouncing light. Definitely throw it in your films, use it, it's gonna up your production game. So we're gonna start talking about lighting setup number 2, and this is one of my favorite lighting techniques. It is called book lighting. I'm gonna give you a quick diagram of it here. Make sure you guys save that. I'll put a link to the diagrams in the description. You can download those, print those out, keep them in your production notes. That way you can use this on set. Now, I originally learned about book lighting from the cinematographer Shane Hurlbut. If you don't know who he is, he was the DOP on films like Need for Speed, The Skulls, Terminator Salvation, Act of Valor. He's done a lot of blockbuster hits. He's very famous in the industry, and he's a very good guy to take notes from. So you can go over to his website. I think it's like hurlblog.com, and he's always on there interacting with his fans and people that are wanting to get tips from him. Okay, so knowing what you know about bounce light and bouncing light off a reflector, this is just going to build upon that. This right here is, when you saw the diagram, it's the same thing. That's why I have this muslin cloth hanging here on this this backdrop stand. And you can put any type of diffusion. This is gonna act as a wall of diffusion. You don't have to have a cloth. Go to Walmart, get a shower curtain, one that's see-through, one that is like a frosted white color. You know, obviously you wouldn't want to get something that you couldn't see through, because that's not gonna work very well, or just a sheet. But you'll be able to see the change of light. Get up close here on my face. This is without. And then this is with that diffusion there. And you can kind of tell the quality of light. Without, this is without, you see how bright it is here. And then with. So, book lighting is really good if you're doing like close-ups. Not only are you bouncing light, you are balancing it, and then it's coming through the diffusion, and that's dimming the light even. So we're gonna turn all the studio lights off, minus what we're bouncing through here, and we're gonna see what the quality of the light looks like. All right, so that's what our book lighting light looks like. And obviously the closer we get to the diffusion cloth, the brighter the light is. Right now we're at ISO 640. And then look, if we move our diffusion panel out of the way, this is what the light looks like, just bounced, like we had first. This is with the diffusion. And again, you know, without, with. You can tell how much softer, how much more natural it looks. It all depends on the motivation of your light. Lighting is definitely something you can have a lot of fun with. It's one of my favorite parts about the filmmaking process. So just go out there and just practice. That's all it is just practicing these different lighting setups. Just practice lighting yourself different ways. Turn your camera on, even if you don't hit record, or if you just hit delete afterwards, just turn it on. Turn on one light at a time, move your lights around the room, and just check out what it does to the shadows on your face, or what it does to the scenery around you. So guys, if you enjoyed this first episode of the basic cinematography guide that I'm putting on this channel, give it a thumbs up. If you're learning anything from my channel, smash that subscribe button. And remember guys, as always, just go shoot.